what is Bildung? Where does it come from? How do I get some? How do I give it to others? And why do we need it? Bildung can be described as two different kinds of knowledge. There's one kind of knowledge or understanding that is relatively easily transferable from one person to others, and there is another kind of knowledge and understanding that is really hard to transfer from one person to others. So the easily transferable kind of knowledge is what we generally learn in school. It can be math, science, another language, but it can also be how to book a plane ticket online, how to fix a bicycle, how to cook a meal, how to bake a bread, or something like that. So it doesn't have to just be academical knowledge, it can also be everyday knowledge. So this is what we can relatively easily teach one another. Then there's the other kind of knowledge, which is harder to teach others, which is also the emotional and moral development. So this is what comes from engaging with life, living life, making mistakes, falling in love, having a child, losing a parent, taking care of a sick relative. These experiences that create emotional depth and hopefully higher moral aspirations. We learn those from living life, but it's really, really hard to transfer that experience to other people. So with the stuff that's easily transferable, we can expand our horizons. We can call it the horizontal kind of knowledge. And the other kind of knowledge we can describe as the vertical knowledge. This can also be our cultural connection to our or emotional connection to our cultural roots, or as I said, it can be our moral aspirations. And we can sort of stretch and strengthen this emotional muscle. And we can do that through living life, but we can also do that through the arts. We can do that through listening to music that is challenging, or where we engage emotionally in ways that we would otherwise not normally engage with our surroundings. With literature, where we identify with a character or more characters and go through emotional experiences that this character is experiencing, and it can be emotional experiences that we would otherwise never encounter in our own life out in reality. And so Bildung is the combination of these two kinds of knowledge, and we can expand our horizon in all kinds of directions through life. We can also deepen our emotional connections to others and to our cultural heritage and to other cultures and to our how we involve with other people and how we engage with the world. And we can also develop higher moral aspirations. So this rounded character, this deep and broad development of our inner world is Bildung. So how do I get some? Well, you get it from living life, from making mistakes, from having successes, and from engaging with other people, and from studying and being curious about the world around you. Where does it come from? Bildung is a German word, and it comes from the German word Bild, which means an image, and originally it was about shaping your character in the image of Christ. But in the mid-1700s, it got a secular meaning, and some of the philosophers who explored and philosophized about what Bildung was and how our emotional development expanded over the course of our lifetime were the philosopher Herder and Schiller and Fichte and von Humboldt and also Hegel. So how do I give it to others? Well, of course, you can always start teaching stuff that you know something about and that you think is really important and about which you're really enthusiastic. So if you have enthusiasm regarding a topic and you really love to share it with people, if you're good at that, you can actually get people to get interested in the things that interest you. And that's a really good way to go. Another way is, of course, to try to understand other people and engage them in your viewpoints just as you engage in theirs. And by exploring each other's viewpoints and exploring each other's values and moral values, you can learn about not just the other person, but you can also learn about yourself. And so it's important that we have deep discussions and conversations with not just friends and family, but also out in the workplace, in the greater society, because that is how we grow as individuals. That's how we learn to take other people's perspectives on things and see things from another angle than just the one that we're used to from our own little mind and out into the world. So we can actually help each other with this Bildung. with this growing, with this deeper emotional connection to each other and to our culture and to other cultures, and with our involvement in society. And why is this important? It is important for us as individuals because if we don't connect with our surroundings, if we don't connect emotionally with other people and with culture, we starve on the inside. If we don't expand our horizon, if we don't pay attention to what is going on around us, we lose foothold in our own life and we cannot be involved as citizens. We will not be able to understand what the political issues in our society are about. So we need this for our own sake. And we need, of course, also to have high moral aspirations in order for us to be good friends, spouses, citizens, co-workers, and all these many things that we are as adults in society in this day and age. And then we need it for society because we need to be involved and informed citizens who can make up our own mind and who can understand the political agendas, who can understand the technological development, who can relate to globalization, to all the challenges that we're facing, to the threats towards nature from our consumption and from new technologies and from our, let's call it lack of consideration for future generations. So we need to engage as informed citizens, and Bildung allows us to do that. Not just with regard to the horizontal knowledge so that we know what we're talking about, but also emotionally so that we can show tolerance towards other viewpoints than our own, and so that we can engage in productive and friendly conversations even with people with whom we disagree. So this is Bildung, and the more you pursue Bildung in your life, the more interesting it actually becomes, and it provides a richer and more rewarding life in many, many respects.